Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. We are going to be having a big, huge edition of Monday Night Raw. I know that over the last few months, basically WWE has been throwing everything they can at Monday Night Raw, trying to draw a rating, but them doing a Raw from Madison Square Garden, aka the original hometown of the WWE. If they were ever going to do anything big involving Bruno Sammartino, to Bob Backlund, to Hulk Hogan, they did it at Madison Square Garden, the home of WrestleMania, WrestleMania 2, SummerSlam 1991, SummerSlam 1999, and WrestleMania 10. I think you get the picture. If WWE was going to do something big, they did it at Madison Square Garden. And although, over the past few years, WWE has not run pay-per-views, they've not run television, this is basically WWE trying to make good with the people of Madison Square Garden. Over the past year, we've seen New Japan and Ring of Honor run Madison Square Garden. We saw TNA host an interview from there. That was kind of a big deal when TNA announced that Hulk Hogan was going to be coming to TNA. We saw AAA. I don't think they actually were able to host the show, but they announced it. They started selling tickets, and I think they pulled out due to the fact they weren't able to sell enough tickets. But tomorrow, WWE is going to be coming home. This is their way of trying to make good with Madison Square Garden to sort of keep top billing of WWE there over the past few years. WWE has fallen in love with Barclays Center. There's a lot of reasons, like there's no union fees or dues or something like that, and that's one of the reasons why it costs a lot of money for them to run Madison Square Garden. But they're pulling out all of the big show. They are bringing out Stone Cold Steve Austin. And at first when it was announced that Stone Cold Steve Austin was going to be at Raw, I was like, great. He's going to come out at the beginning of Raw. He's going to pop a few beers. He's going to say, welcome to Monday Night Raw. And basically, really do nothing. It was almost like when Hulk Hogan was on his first run with WWE. And he would come out there and he would talk about the WWE Network for $9.99. And it just, you get pumped thinking Hogan's going to be on Raw and he's going to do something cool. And he doesn't do anything. And it's almost like that's what Stone Cold Steve Austin has become. You can only see him, hit the stunner on Vince and Shane so many times. I don't know why they don't want to try to involve him with some sort of a mid-card heel that he could get over on. I think it would help that guy, but I think this is probably the best way to use Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's going to be on Monday Night Raw. He is going to moderate the contract signing between Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman. This, of course, is going to be a match at the Clash of Champions for the Universal Championship, which is kind of, a cool deal. I know that they've had it where, Seth Rollins was forced to defend at Night of Champions the United States Championship against John Cena, and he was forced to defend the Universal Championship against Sting, both in the same night. But at Clash of Champions, Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins, aka your Raw Tag Team Champions, have to defend the Tag Team Champions themselves, and then they have to get in the ring again and fight for the Universal Championship. Braun Strowman, I believe, is 0-2 in Universal Championship matches, and he's honestly been hotter at certain times in the past than he's been now. I don't really see this being the time that he's going to topple Rollins to become Universal Champion, but I do think that Rollins and Strowman will lose the Universal Championship, and I don't know if it makes a lot of sense, but I could see Braun turning heel in the tag match to try and add more fuel to the fire, I guess you can say, to the Universal Championship later in the match. But we'll talk about those matches later in the road. This is just to highlight Raw. Clash of Champions is still a little bit while down the road. But, Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to want to get in there. He's going to want to try and keep it calm. He's at a different place in his life. I think he's going to want to keep it calm in the ring, let everybody know that tensions are high. But, they got to wait until the clash. But then again, when the beers start falling and the stunners start coming out, I wouldn't be surprised if it turns into a normal WWE contract signing. Tables get broken and somebody's getting laid out. Wouldn't be surprised me if Strowman laying out Rollins is possibly the way to go. But it's going to be pumped to see Stone Cold Steve Austin on the edition of Monday Night Raw from the Madison Square Garden. I think it's been tweeted that it's been 20 years since Austin stepped foot in there. So we're going to have to see what he does to bring it up a notch since the last time.